Hello everyone, welcome back. The topic of our discussion today is virtual function or runtime polymorphism. Both these terms are complementary. That means if one term is there, another has to be there. Runtime polymorphism and virtual function. Both are complementary. Okay, another names for this concept is late binding or dynamic binding. This concept is considered as a little bit tricky or challenging, complicated, because at a compile time the compiler is going to link up the code somewhere else, but when actually we are supposed to execute the code, something else is going to be executed, entirely different from the link part. So it is little bit typical, little bit tricky to keep the track of the program execution. All right, so apart from everything, let me give you the total assurance, let me give you the guarantee that after this simplification, after this explanation, you will be definitely very comfortable with the concept of runtime polymorphism and virtual function. Alright, because we are going to start with the very background and very details that you need. Okay, the first thing, that is the requirements. In order to implement virtual function or runtime polymorphism, we have to implement inheritance in the program. That means inheritance has to be there in the program. Two classes or more than two classes, it doesn't make any difference, but there has to be inheritance in the program. Second requirement, base class pointer. See everyone, I guess you remember the concept of base class and child class, right? This one, base class, derived class, that means child class. Fine. What I'm telling is base class pointer, something here, must be pointing at the child class object. Base class pointer pointing to the child class object. By default, by the nature, by the law, it is going to execute everything from the same class. But if virtual is implemented, the method of sequence will be diverted. So that is going to be the second requirement, base class pointer pointing to the child class object. And the third requirement, that is the function has to be defined as a virtual in the base class. So if these three requirements are there in the program, that means we are in a state to implement the concept of virtual function or runtime polymorphism. Okay, let me give you a little tiny program, very basic program, so that you can be very familiar with the concept that how it is working actually. Fine, then we'll go for some challenging program. Okay, if you just take a look at the code, everyone, on the code, we are having two different classes. First one, there is a class base, that is the definition of class base. Right after that, another definition, that is of class derived, which is coincidentally the child class of the base. Fine. Now if you observe, the noteworthy condition is both the classes are having the function show. That means function show is here, and with the same function you can find in the child class as well. The only difference there, the base class function has been defined as a virtual. Once again, let me repeat, the base class function has been defined as a virtual one. Okay, so base class is having a show function copy which is defined as a virtual, and child class, that is a plain simple normal function. Okay, in the later part, in the main function definition where we create the objects, fine, if we just take a look at the main function definition, we have the objects from base class, from the child class as well. So we are having two objects. Just take a look at the diagram. This one is the object B of the base class, another one, that one is the object D from the child class. Okay, in the first step, in the first phase, what we do is base class pointer is pointing at the base class object, something like this. Okay, yep. This one, base class pointer BPTR. These are the two objects, object B of the base class, object D from the derived class. So what happening is, right now base class pointer is pointing to the base class object. Everything is normal, you know the rule. Okay, base class pointer will be always executing the properties of base class only. So show function, definitely, which is being called, that means show function of the base class is going to be executed. Now let us change the scenario. Let us make this base class pointer pointing to the child class object. That means the same pointer, base class pointer, is now pointing at the child class. That is the change in the scenario. Alright, once again the same condition, same laws are going to be applied. Pointer is of base class, that means of course it is going to execute by default the properties of the base class, same class only. That means here we tried to make a call to the function show. This pointer, because it is of a base class, it will go to the base class and it will try to execute the function show there. But now just take a look at the definition, the highlighted part, the red part. Okay, right here, fine. So when base class pointer is there to execute base class definition of show function, it actually finds out, oh, this function has been defined as a virtual. So compiler holds the execution, stops the execution, and ask everyone to wait, hold, stop right there. Okay, now there is a twist in the tail. Okay, this function has been defined as a virtual. That means compiler will start looking for the copy of the same function name in the child class. Once again, base class pointer pointing to the child class, function is going there to execute base class copy of show function. But here it observes virtual is been defined. So instead of executing it, it will go looking for the show function in the child class. Fine. Can we find a copy of show function in the child class? Yes, it is there. So child class copy of show function is getting executed. That's all is going to take place. Refer the diagram, refer the explanations, and you will find the same thing happening. Base class pointer going to the base class show function, but finds virtual there, jumps down to the child class, finds show function and executes it. There is something beyond the normal scenario. All right. So that is a virtual function. That is normally the execution of virtual. Okay. Hopefully you people are clear with this concept, this tiny little program. Okay. Now it is time to implement a little bit, actual program. Okay. Now the diagram is there. Here, the diagram. The coding is there. The stepwise execution is there. And we are here. They both are here. Okay, everyone. First, let me give you the brief of the diagram. So just take a look at the down below the diagram. Here, the first class, that is class media, that will be acting as a parent class. Here, we had implemented hierarchical inheritance. That means one parent class is deriving two child classes. First one, that will be book class. Another one, that will be tape class. From media class, two child classes are getting derived. Book, media. Book, media. All right. So everyone just take a look at the definition and try not to forget one particular thing, that is the concept of constructors in inheritance, because we are going to make use of that very frequently. Okay. First go through the definition, go through the backgrounds of media class. We have title and price in the media class. Okay. Apart from that, we are having one constructor of class media. Fine. Okay. This constructor is actually initializing the values in title and price, followed by function display, which has been defined as a virtual. Mind it, that function is defined as a virtual. That means itself is not going to be executed. It will always execute the child class copy of display. You just keep that in mind. Okay. Another one, the child class, that is book, which is being derived from class media. So if you just take a look at the properties of class book, we are having pages. Apart from that, constructor. Mind it, let me remind you one particular thing. Before we execute the child class constructor, we need to thorough with the sequence. This sequence is reminding us that first priority is base class constructor. First it has to be executed, then the constructor of the child class can be executed. So you can find the same condition in the constructor right over here. This is a book class constructor, which is actually making a call to base class, parent class constructor. All right. And once again, display function, the child class copy of display function is right there. Another child class, there is tape. This time, once again, we are having a variable called time, followed by the constructors. Once again, this constructor. But before we execute the constructor, what we'll look for? We will be looking for the sequence, and sequence is definitely specifying us to execute the constructor of the base class first, then we can execute the constructor of the child class. So base class constructor is being called media SA. Right after that, that means right after executing this base class constructor, we will be getting back to the child class constructor, and values will be initializing in time. Once again, we'll find display function there, which is a child class copy and which will be the executable copy, because base class virtual, fine, that will not execute, it will always pass on the priority to the child class, and child class function will be executed, just for the sake of reminder, you know. Okay, if you just take a look at these steps 1, step 2, first and second steps are for initializing of the object. Third step is for the creation of the pointers. All right, step number 4 and step number 5. These last two steps are the actual implementation of virtual or runtime polymorphism. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first of all, after taking the values from the user, fine, we are going to create an object of class book. Okay, so the moment we create an object, of course, constructor is getting called. So the constructor will be called for this part. Everyone, you just follow the color code. For step 1, for B1 object, we have a color code blue. So find out the blue part. Okay, all the 3 values will be received here. But wait right there. The sequence says to execute the parent class constructor first. So this part, this parent class constructor calling will be taking place first. So the values will be assigned in B1 object for the values, that is title and price, fine. Third value, pages, will be assigned when we execute the constructor of the same class. You know, first execute the base class constructor, right after that execute the child class constructor. So after executing the base class constructor, we will be coming back and we will be executing the child class constructor, and that is how we are going to define the value in page. Okay, so that is all about B1 object. Okay, right next to that, the same procedure, the same practice, get 3 values from the user. Once again, make an object of the child class tape. This time the object name will be T1. So the moment we create an object, we will be calling a constructor. So this time, step number 2, you will be following the yellow color code. Okay, so all the 3 values will be retained here. Once again, we'll check the sequence, and sequence is saying us, specifying us to execute the base class constructor first. So once again, base class constructor is being called. That's why the values, that's how the values of title and price are going to be assigned. Once we are done executing the base class constructor, now it is the time of executing the child class constructor. So it is the time to assign the values in time. Okay, so these are the creation of both the objects B1 and T1, just shown in the diagram. Everyone, just take a look at the diagram. There are 2 objects, in the green part, in the red part. Green part is for the object B1, and in the red part, right, it is of object T1, type class object. Okay, everyone, next to that, step number 3, you can see it in the plain code, you can see it right here, media star list of 2. That means these are the 2 pointers, list of 0 and list of 1. We are creating 2 pointers, list of 0 and list of 1. 2 base class pointers are now created. All right. Okay, everyone, follow the green part. That is our step number 4. Step number 4, list of 0 is pointing to B1 object. Everyone, just focus on the diagram. In the diagram also, you can follow the green, right, green color code. It will give you the explanation and, you know, the jumping, execution, sequence and all. Okay, so that is the list 0, list of 0 pointer, base class pointer pointing at object B1. So base class pointer pointing to child class, same condition. All right, now we are trying to make a call to the display function. Base class pointer is there, so that is why it will be executing the base class copy. So list of 0 is going to jump to the base class to execute display function definition. But once again, it will find virtual there. So compilers, what is say? Stop, halt right there, wait. All right. All right. So the function has been defined as a virtual. That means try searching for the copy of the same function in the child class. So list of 0 will be first going to the base class display. It finds the virtual there. It will hold the execution. It will coming back to the child class display function and it will be executed. Just follow the green color code in the diagram. Fine. Display function, from here we will be jumping to the display function of the media class. We will be finding virtual there. That's why diversion would be there and child class display would be executed. Once again, same practice for another object. Fine. This time we have a pointer, list of 1. This pointer, base class pointer, once again pointing to the child class. Everyone, step number 5 in the diagram. List of zero pointer, base class pointer pointing to the child class object t1. Okay, this time once again make a call to the display function. Of course, the pointer is of base class, so it will be going to the base class to execute the function display. So list of 0, there is a pointer of the base class, so it will be going to the base class to execute the function display. Okay, once again same procedure. It will find virtual there, so compiler will stop, halt right there, wait. Okay, look for the same function in the child class. So list of 0 is pointing to the object t1, so it will be coming back to the child class to execute the display function, and that is how the display of the child class copy is going to be executed. Okay, whatever the explanations, whatever the talk, whatever the discussions just took place, you can find them in the steps 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. If you follow the color code, you can definitely find the same things, the same sequence in the diagram and in the program itself. Okay, hopefully this part was helpful, very useful for you to understand the runtime polymorphism or virtual function. Everyone, thank you very much.